भद्रं मे अपि वातय मनः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Avichara, we saw lack of inquiry is the cause of the feeling that one is bound. And this is the root cause of thinking that one is caught in a web of obligations, one is caught in a web of various kinds of dysfunctional relationships, and caught in the web of what the Swami Vidyaranya is going to unfold a little later, in the web of Kartritva Buddhi, do worship, and Bhoktritva Buddhi. Bhoktritva Buddhi means experiencership. Karta, agent, and then Bhokta, victim, experiencer. This becomes the ultimate cause of feeling that I am in some sorrow or the other, namely samsara. And the upaya, the antidote for this downward spiral into samsara is, we saw, vichara. What is the topic of this vichara? Can you please bring me the text? I forgot to bring. What is the topic of the vichara is very beautifully given, and the topic of the vichara is the distance between oneself and Ishvara Bhagavan. That is the topic of the vichara. Vichara is twofold. Two only from the standpoint of our cataracted vision. That is why. When the vision is cataracted, what do you see? Two in the place of one. Cataracted by avichara, no inquiry. And so the vision is distorted because I see myself as separate from everybody else. That is the cause of sorrow. I see myself as separate from the universe. That is also the cause of sorrow. And finally, I see myself as separate from God, Ishvara. And this is the bridge that needs to be bridged between the Jiva and Ishvara. And so, because that is where ultimately the rub lies. And if we look at our own lives, everybody wants to be their own boss. Nobody wants to be bossed over. That's why during the pandemic, this work from home became very popular. Because I am my own boss, I don't have to listen to anybody else. This is what one wants. We tolerate the boss because we have to bring money for every month. You tolerate the boss, but you don't want to. Everybody wants to be their own boss. And nobody wants to be lorded over. Everybody wants to be the Lord. This is where the disconnection is. And the disconnection and the alienation, the sense of alienation between myself and the creator of the Jagat, whatever, there must be a creator, we say. Why? Because everything is orderly. No. The world is very disorderly. If that's what you say, then even what you perceive as disorder, we say is part of a mega order. There is no disorder at all. The disorder is one's own subjective perception, because that disorder is not in keeping with my likes and dislikes. If everything goes as I like, then I say everything is in order. Yes, I got chocolate cake for breakfast. Okay, everything is in order today. And then, if I did not get what I want, oh, this world is terrible. Ishvara is bad. Ishvara is a bad boy. Yeah, I don't know why boy, but somehow this is how it is. Yeah. So Ishvara is very bad because I didn't get what I want. And sometimes people say, my prayers are not answered. They are answered. Oh, every prayer is answered. Sometimes the answer is no. We have to understand that. Sometimes the answer is not yet. Come back again with a new petition. This time it is rejected. Why is it rejected? Because your own karma is standing in the way of the fulfillment. And your karma is also Ishvara, and your desire is also Ishvara. Ishvara cannot go against Ishvara, and so therefore it is your own karma, prarabdha, in the form of prarabdha, needs to be neutralized, and so it is too strong in the face of this new desire that you have. So therefore there is this alienation. So to overcome this alienation, there are 3 portals of enquiry. One is a very famous portal, and it's a very easy portal also, because it's all about me, 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 me. An analysis into me. Jiva, the Jiva portal. Who am I? Why am I like this? Why am I a mess most of the days? And what do I need to learn about myself? How come I want to be everything, but I am this small little individual? This is a famous doorway because everybody is concerned about what? Me, me, me. Therefore, an analysis into the Shastra is rightly termed as me, mamsa, and an analysis into me. And then the other portal, sometimes people are not so interested because they are kind of disconnected from themselves, so they are not immediately available for contemplation of self-enquiry into oneself, but they are very interested in the Jagat, in the universe. Where did this leaf come from? Where did this tree come from? Where did this bird come from? What species is this particular plant? Like this, they are very concerned about all this. They make it their whole life to study even the smallest insect. They study, and then they will spend their whole life studying its movements and what it does and everything. The whole life, is... there was one gentleman who studied bats. And he was Pujya Swamiji's, my teacher's disciple. Bats. Whole life, bats, 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 bats. And interestingly, his name was Bhatnagar. And but then in the USA, people didn't know how to say his name. They would say Bhatnagar. Doctor or professor, Bhatnagar. What does he study? Bats. Yes. Why was he so bad? Why was he so much loving bats? Because that when you go deeply into the bat, it takes you to Ishvara. When you go deeply into yourself, then also it takes you to Ishvara, because all that is here is Ishvara, and so therefore any of these portals will do. And then the third portal, if one is ready, is to go straight away to Ishvara. Who are you? See, we are not used to that. We are used to seeing God as a medium of wish fulfillment. Nothing wrong in that. But then we have to grow to see God as an end, not as a means to an end. We are used to seeing Ishvara, Bhagavan, God, as a means to an end. But rare are the people for whom God is the end. And this is the transition that one has to overcome, to see that there is an alienation between myself and the maker of the world. Why? Because I have a parallel reality going on. There is Ishvara's Jagat, and then there is what? My own Jagat, my own world, a web of all kinds of things that I have weaved. A web of notions, a web of various kinds of attitudes, various kinds of things. But there is a rankling difference. And Ishvara becomes the authority figure with whom I have to settle accounts. Usually, settle accounts means you have to make peace. That is what it is. There are many things that bother one in the Jagat, and then one cannot settle accounts with each and everything. So, therefore, you have to settle accounts with Bhagavan, Ishvara. And that is what is talked about as the subject matter of the vichara. And here Swami Vidyaranya says, don't worry about the Jagat, don't worry about the universe, because that is where the focus is. Take out the focus of the universe and look at this Grand Canyon type gap between oneself and the Maker. Resolve that gap. Well, very easy for him to write in the 17th century, resolve that gap. How to resolve? Fortunately, now we can, equipped with this much background, now we can safely go to the first verse, and there it says, this is how the gap has to be resolved. What is the gap? And the gap how to resolve is talked about here by understanding the nature of Ishvara. So, Paramatma Advayananda Purnaha Purvam. So, what is this Paramatma? What is Ishvara? Advaya, Ananda, Purna. 3 adjectives qualify Ishvara. Advaya, non-dual. How many Ishvaras? 1. Very good. Okay. So, because there cannot be 2, because there cannot be 2 limitlessnesses. there can be only 1 limitless, because if there are 2 things that are called limitless, each one will be delimiting the other. Only 1 limitless, and that is what? Myself, and then Ishvara, it's all one. Jagat, Jiva, Ishvara, all one. So this Paramatma, Advaya, limitless, non-dually one. Ananda. Ananda means joy. Limitless is what I want. Limitlessness is equal to joy, but we are not able to see that. We are not able to connect with limitlessness because we are addicted to happiness, and so therefore Ananta, endlessness, limitlessness is converted into Ananda just so that we can understand. That's all it is. So Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam is converted into what? Sat, Chit, Ananda. This Ananda everybody is mad after. And whatever Ananda I want, whatever happiness I want, what do I get? A small portion. Because when I look around, there is somebody enjoying more Ananda than me. More and more and more Ananda than me. And it is true. If we have 1 unit of human happiness, where one person has all the resources, everything, they are young, they are well educated, everything, if you make this hypothetical unit of 1 human happiness, 1 unit of human happiness, is that enough? No, because then you look to the musical celestials, Manushya Gandharvas, they enjoy 100 more. You multiply that 1 unit by 100 and they enjoy 100 times of the happiness that you can ever enjoy. Oh, please let me become Manushya Gandharva in my next life. No, because why? Manushya Gandharvas have their boss in the Gandharvas, the musical celestials, and then what? They enjoy 100 into 100 times of your happiness, your possible happiness. And it goes on and on. And somewhere in the line there are these karma devatas. What are karma devatas? They bring tea for other devatas, yeah. Chai walas they are, they bring tea. Yeah. Oh, they bring tea for other devatas? Yes. And then they are happier than me? Absolutely. They are what? A million times happier than you. Why? Because they are serving the devatas. That itself is a joyful place. then it goes on and on and on. When does it stop? It never stops. It's a never-ending list multiplied into 100, multiplied into 100, multiplied into 100. And then here, Paramatma, the Ananda that is in the form of Ishvara, we cannot say Ananda that belongs to Ishvara, because then we will have two, not Advaya, possessor and possessed. There is a slight duality. So we say the Ananda that is in the form of Ishvara. What is that? That is just all Ananda. Oh, but my Ananda is small Ananda. No. If you know this Ishvara as non-separate than yourself, through this study, your Ananda is the same. This is what the Taittiriya Upanishad, in discussing the Ananda, says. All the levels of this happiness, removed by 100, 100, 100, 100, it keeps increasing. And then all these levels are enjoyed by a person who owns nothing, sitting under a tree. And what does the person have? The person has two things. One is the person has Vedanta knowledge, Shrotriya, got from their teacher. And the second thing the person has is freedom from desiring objects in the Jagat. This person, Shrotriya and Akamahata, enjoys all the levels of this happiness. And so then, what is this Paramatma? Purna. Purna is another word for limitless. Very nice. Whole. Because what is the Jiva? Sense of lack. What is Ishvara? Whole. And what is Jiva? Sad. What is Ishvara? Ananda. This is the bridge. This is what has to be bridged. This is the gap that has to be bridged. And then this Ishvara is, now we are going into an analysis of what this Ishvara is. It's Advaya, Purna, and then what else? Ananda. And in other words, Sat Chit Ananda. What am I? Sat Chit Ananda. Same thing. Same thing. And how come I'm the same? Because when you remove cognitively all the things that do not belong and keep changing, then what one is left with is this Chaitanya. Chaitanya means the conscious being. Around this conscious being is a whole lot of all kinds of things. Body is there, mind is there, senses are there, and then sense of doership is there, notions are there, all these things are there. Body comes and goes, we know that. What about the mind? Never mind. That's all you can say about the mind. What do you mean mind comes and goes? Mind goes and rarely comes back. Mind has already gone. Then we discount it in our analysis, and then what else? Senses also come and go. Because as one ages, the arm goes like this. If our arms were like Lord Rama, reaching to the knees, then we could ward off glasses for some time. So the senses keep going. Hearing goes, seeing goes, everything goes, going, gone. And then that also is discounted. Okay, body is gone, mind is gone, sense is gone. That means I am also gone. No. The one who says I am gone is very much present. That I is a new definition of this I, not the I that is identified with the body-mind-sense complex, but the I that is the witness. More about this witness later. Sakshi, witness. This I that witnesses the body-mind-sense complex, that is the indweller of this body-mind-sense complex, where I have checked into this wonderful hotel, yes, well ventilated, yes, comes with AC, well ventilated and very nice. And there are some lookouts also in the form of eyes, ears, everything. Windows are there. only two problems. I don't have a say when I check in, and my checkout date is not known to me. Yes. Bhagavan knows, and it is automatic checkout. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to carry my bags. No, it will all be loaded on the Sukshma Sharira plane. No, but I have extra baggage because I accumulated a few desires. This is the only place where you are not charged for excess baggage. Free. It goes along with the subtle body. So I don't have to check out. I don't know when I'm going to check in. No, nothing. I just have to live in this body, mind, sense complex. And what is this I? Sat, Chit, Ananda. It is existent. I am the source of all existence because my existence does not have to be ratified by another body. As we saw last night. I am that is there. I am the one that says this exists, this room exists. This hall exists. How can I say that? I can say that because I objectify everything. I am not an object. I exist and everything exists after me. I am the source of existence. And is this what kind of an existence is this, if you ask? Is it jada, insentient, inert, or is it chetana, sentient? Are you sentient or insentient? Abba, finally the answer came. Yes. Yeah. Those who did not answer, see me after the class. So, just want to check up and make sure. Yeah. I know I am sentient. I know I am there. And it's the knowledge of the existence and the knowledge that is not of any object in particular. It is that meta-knowledge which underscores, which upholds the knower-known divide, the subject-object divide. That knower is known to me, and that object of knowledge known to me. And who is this I as Chit? Neither the knower, nor the known, nor the means of knowing, because all these three are as though superimpositions on this sentient being. They come and go. That same Atma upholds the knower and the known without being either. It transcends, we can say. This is Chit. And then Ananda means, how long am I existent? Are you here now? Yes. Yes. What about now? Yes. What about now? Yes. Now the question is, how long is the length of now? When did now start? No answer. You cannot say now started then, because then now can never become then. You cannot say now is going to start in a few minutes, because that is not now. Now has no starting date. What about ending date? When does now end? Does now end now? No, because it is now. Okay, no, now it will end. No, it cannot end now, because now is now, is now, is now, is now. Now has no start date. Now has no end date. Now means forever. That's why in every meditation practice, we practice meditation to be where? In the now, to be with the now. Now is Ananda. Oh, how can you say now is Ananda? Because I can ask another simple question. Are you sad now? Don't scare me, okay? Yeah. Are you sad now? No. What about now? No. What about now? No. Even if you were to say yes, let's say there is a, what's the word for it? If somebody wants to say, I'm going to challenge this. Yes, I'm sad now. I will say that was then. This is now. Now is free of sadness. Now is Ananda. Now is you. And so what are you after the body, mind, sense complex is discounted? After all the notions of doing and do worship is discounted, what is there is just Satchidananda. And then same thing we do on the Ishvara side also. What is Ishvara? The truth of Ishvara. After all, you have to take out the crown of Ishvara, which is what? Creator of the universe, the epithet, the identification there. And then you take away all the powers, almighty, omniscient, omnipotent, everything you take away. What is it that is wearing all this big disguise is what? Sat, Chit, Ananda. Same consciousness, same awareness. I know I am, and there, on this side also it is the same conscious being, free of sorrow, free of pain. On the other side also it's the same conscious being. Then why Ishvara is called Ishvara? Because there is some kind of a power differential, a Shakti differentiation that is talked about in the first verse, and then it says Swamayaya Swayameva Jagat Bhutva Pravishat Jivarupatah. So Swamayaya, through this special Shakti that as it were converts this Satchidananda into Ishvara. And what is her name? Maya. That is Maya. Maya is a special Shakti, and this Shakti is seen as feminine because she is associated with the creative power. And so, therefore, she is coded as feminine. The word Maya is feminine. It doesn't mean female. There is a difference. Ishvara is not male. Maya is not female. Feminine. So what kind of a Shakti it is? An as-though Shakti. An as-though Shakti which endows this Brahman with Ishvara-ness, Ishvara-hood. So it endows Brahman with Ishvara-hood. Where did this Shakti come from? Swa, from itself. An as-though Shakti, Kalpita Shakti. And then it's almost like Maya, goddess, is a seamstress. What does she do? She stitches clothes for Ishvara. All knowledge, the ruler of everything. Beautiful cape, lined with galaxies and stars and everything. Velvet, gold, you can think of all the precious metals. This cape, the Satchidananda wears this cape, and then immediately you feel like falling at the feet. It becomes, as it were, as though, becomes Ishvara. And then what happens? And this Ishvara not only creates, so to speak, the Jagat, but manifests as the Jagat. This is what is said. Swayameva Jagat Bhutva. Becoming, so to speak, without becoming, okay? Becoming, as it were, the whole universe. How to become without becoming? Like even in a dream. In your dream, let's say you dream that you are a bird and you are flying. What have you done in the dream? You have become a bird. And you're enjoying soaring in the sky with your wings looking down upon the universe. And you feel powerful and up on high. Have you really become the bird? No. This is exactly how Ishvara, as it were, becomes the Jagat or is non-separate from the universe, which is why for this, the people following the Vedic Dharma, everything is Ishvara. Whatever you see is Ishvara. Wherever you go is Ishvara. Everybody who is even difficult is also Ishvara. In-law is Ishvara, outlaw is Ishvara. In-laws who behave like outlaws, definitely Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. The whole Jagat is nothing but Ishvara, and this is what is very beautifully said in the first verse. The whole Jagat is Ishvara, and then therefore what? Therefore, this whole Jagat is sacred. That's why we have 33, what is that? 33 million forms of God to pray. We can have a few more also, no problem, because it is all very sophisticated invocation from the standpoint of a form and from the standpoint of a function. This is what we revere. Everywhere is Ishvara, everything is Ishvara. And then, where did this I, this Jiva come from? This Ishvara entered into this hotel. Who is living in this hotel? Not I. This is a very big, huge leap. Ishvara is living in this hotel. Ayyo, I don't feel that at all. I don't sense that at all. An imposter seems to be living in this hotel. An Ishvara, not Ishvara, is living in the hotel. Why? Because this I is not at all behaving like Ishvara. Ishvara does not get angry. What do? Get angry all the time. Ishvara is not sad and I am drowning in the tears. Ishvara does not have all kinds of strong prejudices and preferences. I am filled with all of them. There is no Ishvara living there. There is only yours truly, me, with all the limitations, with all the pains and sorrows. This is what has happened. I think that I think the first verse has made a mistake. I don't see any Ishvara living in this body, mind, sense complex. Where is Ishvara? There is no Ishvara. Where is Ishvara? How can God be living in this body, mind, sense complex? If God were living, shouldn't I have known already? Shouldn't at least there be some kind of a, what should I say, a connection, some at least momentary glimpse of darshan should be there. There is no darshan. There is nothing. And so therefore what? There is no Ishvara at all. There is no Ishvara. This is the feeling. This is the duality. And then why there is this duality? We have to go to the second verse to explain. Because the Maya of Ishvara is different from the Maya of the Jiva. Maya of Ishvara is Shuddha Sattva. The three gunas of Maya are what? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Yeah, those who did not say tamas are in it. Okay. Yeah. So, so therefore, what? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Tamas, inertia. These are all very important discussions. I'm sure that you will understand this more and more as the course that you're studying keeps unfolding. And so these three powers of Maya with which the whole Jagat is crafted does not affect Ishvara. And Ishvara can have different forms. Ayyappa form, Meenakshi goddess form, Vishnu form, and then what else? Shiva form. All these forms are as though forms of that same Satchidananda Ishvara, and being self-knowing, having self-knowledge, this Maya becomes a Shakti of all knowledge for Ishvara. But for the Jiva, what does it do? It becomes a travesty. It covers the Jiva in the embryo of avidya, self-ignorance. Shuddha Sattva of Maya associated with what we call Ishvara, Malina Sattva, a Sattva that is mixed up with Rajas and Tamas, is what is this body, mind, sense complex. And the one identified with this body, mind, sense complex is what is this? Is this particular Jiva. This is what it is. And the second verse explains it beautifully. Vishnu Adi Uttama Deheshu, in exalted bodies, like the body of Vishnu. Look, why is it an exalted body? Look at his life. All he has to do is lie down like this. And the goddess is pressing his feet, not some ordinary person. Goddess is pressing his feet. Yeah. And he's sleeping on a original memory foam mattress, coiled mattress. Yeah. Adishesha, just look at his life. That's why it's an exalted body. Look at Shiva, never comes out of samadhi. Look how easily he goes into samadhi. Look at that. Look at Lakshmi, she's covered in gold coins all the time, sitting in the middle of a lotus. Look at Ganesha, fat without a complex. Yes. Yeah. So this is why these are exalted bodies. Nice roly-poly Ganesha. Yeah. Never, if you are going to buy an icon of Ganesha, don't buy if it is all slim, okay? Yeah. That's not Ganesha. That is some emaciated imposter. Yeah. Ganesha carries the whole universe in his belly, so he has to be nice and roly-poly, okay? Nice and fat. Yeah. So these are all exalted bodies. Because if all of us looked like Ganesha, I tell you, we would be miserable. Yes. You say, oh, I have no acceptance of myself. I'm unable to lose weight. And what should I do with this trunk? And what should I do with these big ears, Where should I go? We would not have self-acceptance. That's why these are all they are called exalted bodies. And therefore the second verse says, Vishnu Adi Uttama Deheshu, in all the exalted bodies, Pravishtaha, the same Ishvara as Satchidananda, Pravishtaha, entering that, Devata Abhavat, gets the status of Devata. And then what? Alas, the next line is for us, okay? Yeah. Martyadi adhama deheshu. Adhama means non-exalted, lowly bodies, such as 4-footed, 6-footed, 8-footed, 2-footed, whatever, these kinds of bodies. Martyadi. Martya means subject to death. Getting into mortal bodies, the same Ishvara, what happens to the same Ishvara? Bhajati martyatam. Bhajati means labhate, gains. Gains what? Martyatam. Martyatam means limitations. Gains means becomes identified with the body. The body can be uttama, the body can be adhama, the body can be exalted, the body can be lowly, but then whatever is in the body, that Ishvara, here in the body of a mortal gets identified with that mortality, which is the quality not belonging to the self, but belonging to the body. And here, because of this identification, what happens? There is sorrow. I am a mortal. And then, therefore, what? So, therefore, this knowledge becomes even more urgent, even more essential to get out of this identification. How to do that, we will see in the evening. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadagya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
So I'd like to thank again very much Swamini Sattva Vidyananda Saraswati for